Why did you quit bodybuilding?
Why did Anthony Mantello quit bodybuilding? Yeah, I mean, let's start off with answering how big bodybuilding was a part of my life, right? It was a great hobby that you enjoy and I enjoy, something I found a lot of pride in and success in, something that gave me a purpose of just, showing who I was and mastering an art craft. I feel like bodybuilding is a form of art. I know they say in life we have different art forms. Some people are sculptors, painters, graphic designers of everything. And I enjoyed the process of building my body and displaying it on stage for, I think, 5 years. Yeah, 17 to 22. I had a long goal and journey to become a professional bodybuilder, which I know you're still on that journey itself. And it was a very, vigorous journey. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Showed me a lot of my character traits. And then I kind of hit a point, last prep was a little bit rough, and that didn't really make my decision of changing throughout that prep. I almost quit 10 days out from achieving my pro card. I just was going through it.
Yeah, I remember. I saw you and you wanted to drop
there.
out.
Yeah. So it was just like, that was crazy. I stuck through it. I finished off the prep. I came out victorious, got my pro card. Wasn't the whole, beautiful victory I was hoping for of getting, an overall or anything like that, but still within the bodybuilding division, the show I did, they had, first place and second place pro cards, and I was a second place IFBB pro, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter. I'm an IFBB pro. So yeah, I got my achievement done. And then, through bodybuilding, you have to, kind of push cycles, come off cycle and stuff like that. And I came off cycle, and I knew I had some other life things coming up, like this move to Tampa. So I came off, and then I was, doing some life things, kind of doing in-person coaching, and then decided, all right, I'm going to come back down to Tampa. I'm going to come back on and really get to building my physique to now hang with the pros. So I went to do that. I started at like 217, like off cycle, first official pro cycle.
Wait. What do you mean a first official pro? Oh, because you were a pro.
Yeah, and then I officially turned pro, right? And then it was now time to, bulk up.
Was this now the heaviest cycle that you've actually ever run?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then decided to push it. And I went from 217 to 240 pretty quickly in like 2 months, which was cool. Like I was definitely stronger in the gym. I was bigger. I was looking pretty nuts within the gym. But outside of that, 2-hour window of training, life itself was just super, I don't think remorse is the word, but just not fun. It was just so much dedication to it. And I realized that I looked at myself and I kind of was looking in the mirror and I was like, who am I becoming? Mm-hmm. I was just doing this now for the sport rather than for my own being and who I wanted to become. I did want to become a Mr. Olympia, but then I thought about it deeper when I was at this 240 state, and I was like, is it worth it? Is it worth pushing my body to these limits? We all have our genetic limitations. I don't know if it was worth it in that point. And also when you become a Mr. Olympia, if you do, it's a very small percent that even do. I was just like, it's a lot of time and effort, and I'm just missing out on other aspects of life that I enjoy, that I knew I would just, if I had to look back at my life in like a book, I was like, this chapter would kind of feel like a little bit of a waste. I wasn't living life to the fullest. So I really just wanted to expand outside of that, kind of regather myself, take a step back and be like, okay, cool. I'll still be in the gym. I'll still quote unquote bodybuild to a lesser degree of less, PEDs, less food, just more of like the average human going to the gym with a good body. And I kind of realized that's what I wanted more, was to actually just have a above average physique, have a lean look around, rather than always going to the extremes of, shit, I got to bulk up. I got to put on size for next competition. And then once you hit that size, oh shit, now I got to freaking, cut down. And there's never a happy medium. You're always to one extreme of bulking, one extreme of cutting. And sure, some may argue the fact that, you can do it super steadily. But then there's also the fact of, I just didn't want to dedicate all that time, and it really wasn't worth it anymore for me. So that's why I ultimately made the decision to kind of take a step back and not want to pursue that anymore.
So you say it wasn't worth it to you ultimately.
Yeah.
But is that because of how you felt or because of what you thought the outcome was going to be? Because the way that you felt, do you think that was a inevitable thing, or do you think that things could have been done differently where you wouldn't have felt as shitty and it could have been doing it in, I guess, a healthier way where you may not have felt so bad about it? But was that the determining factor? Like, I feel like shit, or is it what's going to happen?
Yeah, I definitely hit a wall where I felt like shit, and I definitely could have taken a slower, healthier approach to it. But I'm actually glad I kind of went the route I did, because it opened my eyes to say, oh shit, let's not do this anymore. You know? So when I kind of hit that point, I really self-reflected and thought about, okay, let's say I do get to the Olympia stage, right? With those top dogs that are currently reigning at, you know, the top 10, which is still extremely hard to do, because I forget how many people was on the men's physique stage this year, which I do classic, but still there's like 50 to 100 people, you know? And outside of the top 16, you're just tied for dead last, 16th place. And then when I thought about people that place anywhere from like 16th or even like 7th, besides the people in our niche that really love bodybuilding, you're not going to remember who placed 12th or 14th or 8th, really, you know, unless you're super into this. And those guys don't really get paid that much through bodybuilding. Sure, money's not the end all be all, but then I thought about it too. I was like, the reputation that many people want that comes with the legacy you build, I was like, it's super rare to carry that legacy, and it takes a lot of work to do. And all that work and, you know, effort to do that was just not worth it for me anymore. I'm happy with the legacy I currently built, whether people like it or not, if who I became in this sport. And I was like, you know, I think it's cool to kind of be happy with what I've done. I accomplished my main goal that people saw, which was to become a pro. But I don't really want to push it anymore to those extremes, because I just don't think it outweighs all that effort. So yes, I did go the bad route, but opened my eyes up, and I reflected and I realized, yeah, not for me.
It sounds like you kind of don't think it, like the chances of it being possible are slim. That's why it's not worth it.
Not even that. So we can use a guy, Jeremy Buendia, for example, right? Jeremy Buendia won 4 men's physique Mr. Olympias. Nowadays, and the people that know this sport, I rarely remember him, you know?
Yeah.
Unless you've been in this for a while. Like, his last Mr. Olympian was, I think, 2017 or 18.
No, he did
Mr. Olympia recently.
Yeah.
Yes, but the last one he won was like 2018, I believe.
Yeah, something
he
like
won
that.
15, 16, 17, 18. But once again, he's not remembered too much. You know? So I was like, okay, even if you do win and stuff like that, it's like it's in the moment, and your legacy could be remembered or it could not be.
So you say that, but like as soon as I hear men's physique, I associate Mr. Olympia men's physique with Jeremy Buendia over anybody else.
I agree. I do too. But that's me who's in it. And I'm like, it just didn't seem, it's like the general pop and stuff like that. It's just, I don't think bodybuilding's it doesn't appeal to the masses yet, where it's like everyone knows you, you know? Yeah. It's not like that big enough yet for it to really reap the benefits that you have to go to get to that level.
So you didn't feel passionate about it?
I was extremely passionate about it. I would say I still am, but it was just like, it wasn't necessarily a passion thing. I just thought about it more in depth, and I was just like, as I gotten older, and as I now have like a serious relationship, as I have appreciation for different things in life, it takes away from that. You know, when you prep or when you bulk or anything of that sort, when you're under these androgens, it's just like you become a different person, and it's inevitable, honestly. So I was just like, I don't want to do that again. I'd rather be true Anthony Mantello, who I am at my core, and be loving, be appreciative, be happy.
Yeah.
And step away from that.
Well, that's why I'm saying it sounds like
I lost the passion that way.
You lost the passion because bodybuilding is your life, right? Yeah. Like everybody that gets to that level, I don't think they see it necessarily in the same lens where this is taking so much away from me. It's more so, this is my life and this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And you kind of stepped away from that and were like, I would rather do other things.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. In that standpoint, yes. Yeah, definitely have, because now my passion's going towards a different route in life. So that's really cool.
What is that?
Entrepreneurship, which sounds like super broad and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you already know about this. They might not, but essentially I watched The Social Network, which was a great movie. It really inspired me. And watching that movie felt like when I first discovered like the David Lade transformation video. I don't know if you watched that when you were a teenager or whatnot.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
So I'm comparing. The first time I ever watched the David Lade transformation video was when I was like 2 months into the gym. It was my first time into the gym, 2016. And I was on YouTube. I remember looking up like chest workout, and I saw like videos of Phil Heath and stuff like that. And I was just super oblivious. And I was like, oh, these guys are bodybuilders, like they're natural. I didn't know like the whole steroid and PED stuff. And then as I was just scrolling, I saw like, you know, a good looking young aesthetic teen. It was David Lade. And I saw his transformation video, and it was like showing the age I was at now, which was 14 to 17. That was the transformation title. And I was like, let me watch this. I watched the video. It was like 5 minutes long, and it motivated me. I was like, holy shit, this kid did this, and he's my age, or he's 17 at the time. But I was like, I'm at his starting point right now. Let me see what I could do in these 3 years. And once I watched that video, I went down the rabbit hole of wanting to become a fitness influencer. That's where it all started, was that video. So I'm now making that comparison of when I watched The Social Network, it's the same feeling I got watching that a couple months ago is the same feeling I got when I first watched David Lade's transformation video. So this next part of my life, this journey, feels exciting. It feels like that first experience when you go into the gym for the first time.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy. And I didn't know that that's what got you started in the gym was David Lade's fucking video.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the one that's got me started in the gym. I got started in the gym because...
Well, started on wanting to pursue...
the fitness stuff.
Yeah, the fitness stuff.
Yeah, and then bodybuilding started because David's friend group was essentially David, Dylan, Quinn, and then in one of his videos, he had Mr. Bubbles, which is Stephen Cow. Yeah. And Stephen Cow was a little bit older than all of them by like maybe 2 or 3 years, and he was already competing in men's physique. And, you know, he was enhanced competing in men's physique. And I just knew Stephen Cow had the better physique out of the whole friend group. So I said, whatever the hell Stephen Cow is doing is what I want to do. So then I fell down the rabbit hole of finding out what men's physique was, finding out who Jerome Buendia, Jeff Side, all that stuff. And then I saw David Lade with his friend group and with the camera, and I was like, shit, I want to do that. And then, 3 years later, I had my own YouTube channel, was vlogging, sponsored by Gymshark, followed that same route. So that's what really got me started in this whole like job fitness type of entrepreneurship and fitness. But now I want to take the next step of owning an official business of mine and go down that route of starting a startup and then growing it and be my little bodybuilding.
Do you want to talk about the business? I know it's a secret.
It is a secret at the moment. It's something that's in the phase of like an R&D phase at the moment. So it'll be like, I would say 12 to 15 weeks of having the official product itself. But what's cool is an actual physical product that you can hold in your hand like this. You can hold it. You can look at it. You can do whatever you want with it, I guess, essentially.
Well, that could be anything.
I know, because I can't tell you what it is at the moment. But what's cool is it will be in this fitness niche. So luckily for me, it's an industry I'm familiar with. And when I was watching The Social Network, I was just like getting ideas. When I first watched, I was thinking of ideas, and I already told you, but I'll restate it. I was thinking of potential business ideas to just make a lot of money in, right? So I was like, okay, what are some cool ideas? The first idea I thought of was a sex toy. Because everyone, we live on this earth we reproduce, and everyone's horny at some point. So I was like, every day or whatnot. So I was like, what if you created a long distance sex toy?
They have those.
I know they have those. At the time, I didn't know that.
Ugh.
Or even like competition sometimes is good, just make a better product of that sort.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of an idea to create, and it was essentially a device a male could use that they put themselves into, and a device a female could use
that they put themselves,
like a fleshlight essentially. So it's like a fleshlight, and then the girl could use their extender sword, whatever you want to call it.
There you go.
And and essentially what you feel from them, like them putting it in them, and the texture or like the grip and whatnot, you will feel on your end going into your...
Does that exist?
Yeah, unfortunately. So then I thought of that, and I was like, that seems pretty cool, like for long distance couples if you want to have long distance sex.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about, okay, how can you make this product better and bigger? I was like, what if you use like some AI technology of like syncing this up with a QR code through like any video on the internet? So this way, when you're watching a sexual video, you could feel what's going on in that video yourself. And I looked it up, already exists.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What, like VR, and they have like a machine that goes along with it?
It's not VR, so to say. It's just like the device you put yourself into. Like it has like a machine in there, so like you could feel the strokes and like the grip and all that shit. So yeah, so let's say if something's getting like you'll feel that on you, and like the deepness and the shallow, whatever, you feel all that shit. So that was my one idea. And I was like, you know what? I just know nothing about that industry. I know nothing about reaching out to a manufacturer of that sort. So I was like, cool idea. I like being creative, but I'm just going to scrap it. And then the next idea I thought of was something of like, okay, it'd be really cool to create a pill of some sort or a supplement that would help reset your caffeine tolerance, because everyone pretty much consumes caffeine at some point of the day.
Yeah.
And all we do is just either max out at our max limit of, 600 milligrams, whatever it be. And we never really reset the caffeine tolerance because we're all lazy and it takes effort. So what if you could create a pill that would reset your adenosine receptors? But once again, that seems a little scary, something I don't really want to invest money into because it kind of messes with the body. So I was like, also a cool idea. Don't know enough about it. Scrap it.
That's what we were trying to figure out that day.
That was right before.
And there was that pill that they already had that did something along the lines of that.
Yeah, so someone already had a patented type of product for that, and I was like, all right, they kind of got there first, whatever, don't know enough about it, like scrap it. Then I told you about that right before we went up to Christmas in New Jersey. So I went up to New Jersey and I was hanging out with my friend John, my homeboy, Big J, Slim J, Big Bean, and went to go play pool. And when we were driving back from billiards, I thought of the idea, and it hit me. And when it hit me, it felt like I got struck by lightning. I was like, bingo, bingo, bingo. That's it. Write it down, research tonight, and see what you could do. So when I thought of this idea, it's a product that will help solve problems for myself, problems that I dealt with in my life.
Specifically related to bodybuilding.
Correct. And it's already in this, industry I'm already familiar with, which is cool. I have connections within this industry. I have connections to create this product already. And it's something that I actually am passionate about because it fits my lifestyle. And I know it's a problem that could also fix a lot of other people's lifestyle. So when I thought of all these things, I was like, I like this. Let me go through with this. So then I made an email and turned to a phone call. Phone call went well. Then now I just officially signed, the contract to go through my R&D phase and put up that payment for that. And then it's been consuming me ever since I thought of it. It's been super giddy, excited. And I have notebooks filled of just product ideas, campaigns, logos, packaging, all this stuff, and just excitement. And then I've just been honestly making connections. And I found connections just by talking to random people that it can help me. Obviously you got to talk deeper to people to see if they're going to fuck you over or whatnot. But ever since I've been super passionate about it, I felt the same energy reciprocating back to me of all this good energy out in the earth. This will happen. And it's just been all this belief. And obviously people are saying people have their doubts and stuff like that, but I've just been so confident on my end that I'm I'm going to go through with this, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah. Well, conviction is everything. Mm-hmm. If you don't have that, then.
Yeah. So yeah. And then honestly, since I thought of that idea, I've just been changing my lifestyle and life in general, where I've now become trying to become a better businessman, better entrepreneur. I've been this sounds kind of vague, but just reading books. Something I never did, in high school. I never wanted to read any type of assignment. I would just freaking Spark Notes it, not give a shit to read about a book. And I think I now read since Christmas time, I think 5 books. I finished a book in one day the other day. It was a really easy read, and I've just been enjoying actually consuming knowledge, things that interest me, and getting my shit together. Actually now, my mom was keeping my books and shit like that. So now I hired my own accountant. I have a financial advisor of that sort, and just been talking to attorneys for trademarks, just kind of doing all that real business shit. And it's been actually fun, Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of shit you have to do.
Yeah. All legal shit. So things that the more I thought about it too, is cool. The end goal would obviously be with the business to make a lot of money, sell the company or make it become so big that it just grows.
That's an end goal, but if that's all your focus is, it's very short-sighted. It has to create an impact.
So I want to create an impact, but then I also thought about it. I was it's the journey within it, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing. If I just wanted to live my life of when you always think about when you reach your goal, you'll be so satisfied. When you reach it, you're never that satisfied. It's because you're not embracing the journey within it.
Yeah.
So I realized from when I first, conceptualized the idea of this business, I was okay, this is gonna be my next journey I'm gonna do, and let me embrace every little thing that comes with it, from the ideas, from the thoughts that keep me up at night, to going on phone calls, negotiating all this BS that many people are just they just want their product to be live. Let me enjoy the process of it. And I genuinely have been, and it's been making me very fulfilled and excited that I have a purpose every day. So it's been very fulfilling. So I've realized you got to embrace the journey within to actually be fulfilled.
You got to live in the
present
now,
moment.
the present. Yeah. A lot of people don't. And I mean, everybody talks about that. And like you said, every time you reach a goal, it's never as fulfilling as it seems. And it's always about the journey. I mean, you could even probably envision right now, say you were to win Mr. Olympia or anything of that sort, right? You would get there. Sure, you feel awesome, but it's probably not going to be
as good as you thought it would be.
Yeah, then you could reflect back on everything that it took to get to that point. And that's really where
all like the shine is, and all like the happiness, emotions, all that shit. Yeah, I mean, even winning the pro card, it was like, I didn't want to be on stage that day, bro. I didn't want to pose. I didn't want to do anything. I distracted myself.
Yeah.
Just because I felt like such shit. But like looking back at it, it wasn't that day of actually the pro card that was like the most rewarding. It was every single day leading up to it, all that BS, you know, freaking waking up at certain times of the day to eat, staying up late, Allie being next to me, getting my 6 meals in, like all that was like the journey itself that was rewarding.
You mentioned that you wanted to drop out prior to that show. I remember I saw you. Did you say exactly why that?
Yeah. I mean, essentially what happened was I did 2 shows that season, right? I had to requalify at a regional show. And then I think 4 or 6 weeks later was like the national show, the pro qualifier. And going in, that was the easiest prep it was up to the first show. Like I literally felt amazing on peak week for the first show. I looked good. I felt good. I wasn't that tired. I wasn't that hungry. Like I had a lot of energy to me. And I knew that going to that second show with knowing my body so long for prepping, I was like, okay, told Kyle, I was like, yo, you got to feed me up, bro. Like you trust me. I will not get fat, will not get watery. Like bring me back to life for 2 weeks and then cut me down, you know? But we decided to do the opposite and try to come in harder. So we just put our pedal to the metal. And what ended up happening is my body just became stressed, like super stressed to the point where I was losing control of my abs when I would pick up the dishes on the bottom rack of the dishwasher. Like my gut would be hanging out. I thought I had a hernia. I felt like my intestines, my insides like poking out, and like my belly button, I was like pushing it back in. I was like, what the fuck is happening to me, dude? And I was looking at my face, and like my face wasn't getting more of a death face. It was just getting waterier. And it got to the point where it was on my birthday, my 22nd birthday. I bought a car and was coming in from Idaho. I wasn't excited for jack shit of this thing coming in. And it was like the lowest food I ever got in prep. And it just was like super bad on my mental. And I cheated on my first time I ever cheated on my diet. I was just like, I can't do this. And I cheated. And I went out to like Tommy's Tavern in Tappan for Gold. I got like a pastrami sandwich. And I was like, I just need to relax, bro. And then, I rebounded a little bit, gained like 10 pounds. And we ended up coming back in. But I just felt my body no longer progressing. It was stalling, and not even just stalling by like staying stationary. It was backtracking. It was getting softer. It was getting stressed out. It was getting watery. And I just realized, I was like, I don't want to continue this prep because I wasn't enjoying life. And I get it. Like I've embraced the suck multiple preps. I've embraced the hard times. Like I've, stuck through with it. But I genuinely thought to myself, I was like, dude, there is nothing worse than this. Like I just want to be happy. I want to feel emotion again. When you're in that deep state, like you have no emotions. Your estrogens crash so low. You're on all these androgens and anabolics that like
you feel nothing.
You feel nothing. And I felt so empty that I was like, what am I doing to myself? I remember one night I'm taking my supplements to, combat the PEDs we take. And I remember looking at them and I'm like, these are really just here to combat what I'm freaking injecting in myself. I'm like, what am I doing, dude? So I wanted to just back off because I was like, dude, I just know my body's failing right now. So I'd rather call it quits and like just get healthy again as fast as possible than finish it up. Because at that, my thought process at that time was the stage will always be there. And when I feel better, I can go prep again, which honestly, I'm happy I stuck through with it because I showed that I could persevere. But on top of that, I now made the decision to back off. So I was able to accomplish my goal and still, stick through with it. But it was just my body was failing. Yeah. And I look back at the photos from that national show to that regional show. The regional show, sure, I wasn't as like conditioned in like certain areas like my hamstrings and glutes, but my midsection was so much more watery at the national show. I had no control over my abs. Like my abs, like I have like really good ab genetics. They were just bloated and faded.
So you think you looked better at the previous show than the nationals? Yeah,
I posed better at the national show in certain poses, but overall the look and total package was better at my regional show. Yeah, like my legs had life in it. My legs had no life, at least in the quads at the national show. My abs also were faded. My back still was crisp at the national show. My back's always pretty good, but I posed my back off at the regional show. So, yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
What do you mean?
your bodybuilding journey. I mean, what'd you place at nationals?
I placed 6th at nationals.
Okay, so what's up for you now?
I mean, I took the whole year off.
Mm-hmm. You had injuries and shit like that, right?
Sciatica, yeah, and then it was in both legs. It was just fucking terrible. Like, I don't know. Have you ever had sciatica?
Very like minor, nothing where it like consumed my life and made me like differentiate, like go off that path, but like very minor. I felt it.
It's pretty fucking crazy. I can't even believe that I lived with it for 8 years, and it just progressively got worse. And I mean, I would walk around for 10 minutes. Anytime I walk anywhere for 10 minutes, like my entire left leg would be on fire. Yeah. So it makes you not want to do anything. And then eventually it was in both legs. So all throughout that prep, anytime like my spine would be in certain positions, that's why I had to do the bike, because I can't walk, because the constant shock and compression of my spine would make both my legs just fucking be on fire. But when I'm posing and doing like an ab and thigh, like I can't feel my legs at all. Like it just feels like straight I mean, I feel nerve pain, but I can't actually feel my quads or anything. So I don't know. It just got worse and worse. I'm probably due to just being depleted and everything. So after that show, I was basically just like, I need to get a hold on this. And I started to try to resolve it on my own and put all of my attention into that, because I had done things prior to that to try to address it, but it was always kind of like 20% this and 80% bodybuilding. So I went all in on that. Eventually, it just came to the conclusion that it's not going to get resolved. I took like 5 months of doing that, got surgery resolved it, and then I took the rest of the year to like go through rehab stuff and get back into a good position. And at this point, it's been 7 weeks into training like an actual bodybuilder for the most part. I'm still I have to do things differently. I'll probably never be able to do the same shit again. I'm never going to go put 5 plates on a barbell and squat. But at this point, I'm now transitioning back into fully bodybuilding, and I just want to get huge. I talked to Phil. Phil wants me to. He's like, yeah, we could do nationals. We could do whatever national show this
10
year.
months from now, yeah.
I'm like, no, I really don't want to compete at all this year. I would just want to. I haven't had an actual off season where I've been able to just train and enjoy bodybuilding and get huge and strong in like 2 years at this point, 2-3 years. So that's really where I'm at. I just want to train and get fucking big, and then probably enter a prep, around winter next year, early 2026, and that'll be the game plan. And at that point, I should be able to have the weight cap fully filled out, because the weight cap for me is 187 in amateur, 197 in a pro league. And I was on stage this past show at like low 170s, I think.
Really?
So I have a lot of tissue I could put on.
Holy shit, yeah.
I mean, me at 187 filled out, I'd be pretty fucking big.
It's pretty big. Yeah. I filled out my weight cap in my last show at 202, and that was pretty impressive. But still, it's just like I had to look at like, he's like, bodybuilding is super genetic based, right? In terms of muscle bellies and all that shit too. But in general, I just didn't have enough size to be in classic, I think, with the weight cap.
Yeah, because you were maxed out.
I was maxed out there for the National League, and they give you like 10 pounds in the Pro League.
Depends on your height, but
yeah. But I have like really good leg genetics where my legs would grow. So like, I don't want to stop training legs for men's physique. I also don't like the posing in men's physique anymore. I enjoy the art of posing for classic, even though I didn't really enjoy posing on stage. But I'd rather hit those frontal bi, back double bi, ab and thigh, all that BS, than just hit a front and back shot. So it's just like realizing my genetics, and I have decently good genetics with good structure, but just like the muscle filling out my frame, it just like wouldn't be overpowering to like dominate in a division.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I mean, I feel like, especially the fact that I could be 197 as a pro, I feel like if I could be 197 shredded on stage, I think I would look fucking crazy. Yeah. I don't know. That's a lot for just the way that I'm filled out. I feel like I have small bones. I don't know what it is. It's just genetic shape, structure.
Yeah. I've always felt like I have this weird, like I always feel like people never thought I looked like the weight I weighed. Like I weigh like 217 right now, 215. And like even on stage, like I don't think I look 202. Maybe it's just me being my own, like, blinded by my own eyes. But it didn't ever made sense to me, because there'd be guys like Anton that would weigh like 10 pounds less than me, but just have these way bigger muscle bellies and like deeper cuts where they look bigger than me. So I'm just have this disadvantage genetically. So it's like kind of have to have realization, like, all right, cut it.
You'd have to go into open.
Yeah, but once again, I didn't want to push that. I didn't want to go that route. Didn't want to age. Didn't want to blow up my gut. All that shit. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me just bodybuild without being competitive.
I wonder if they'll make another division for men's, because you know how men's physique evolved so much from what it was supposed to be, and how they just did that with the women's. I wonder if they'll do that for men.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been a topic. I know some people are talking about it. Greg Doucette's been talking about it for a long time. He's used me as examples, like saying like, men's physique got way too insane. Classic physique is good. Bodybuilding, is fine. This is the open division, but like there needs to be another like lesser degree one. And then everyone kind of gives it shit because they're like, well, then they won't be as conditioned or this or that. And it's like, just like anything, people hate on something when it's new because you don't fully understand it. Once it kind of, develop some concrete and some ground, like it'll be good.
Yeah.
I just don't like, I don't know. It's hard to imagine or invent something that isn't created yet. Men's physique was cool because you have board shorts, but like, okay, we went from board shorts to now like briefs to then thongs. Like what else? What's in between here? Pants? What the fuck are you going to do? Like, is it going to be like a modeling division where you wear jeans? Like that looks, I don't know.
Well, the fit division is, I think, just a bikini. Well, they have these really specific cuts. I don't know. It's so fucking weird. You saw they made the post about that, and like the difference, I can't even tell the difference.
I think the difference is it covers a little bit more of your glutes,
like an inch, not even.
Yeah, nothing crazy. It's basically just not sucking up their butt cheeks. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what they would do for men's physique, like show one quad. I have no freaking clue. A new men's physique division. I think they could do a modeling division, but like still, it's like
that's like WBFF.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know what they could do for guys. Maybe, their creative team is cooking something up as we speak, but I don't know.
I think they just need to change the judging criteria.
I saw them actually change something recently in a post. They're talking about there's now like a cool round that they do where like you'll be standing in line and they'll literally be like number 17 eliminated. Get the fuck off. Yeah. So like you can be prepping for like, 20 weeks and like you're standing in line and like if you're dead last, like you ain't got no time on stage. They're like, you're out.
That's crazy.
I guess it's definitely be kind of cool to some fact where it's like it creates suspense and the crowd will probably going crazy. But
elimination round?
Yeah, it's literally called an elimination round, I believe. So I think it's a cool concept. It kind of sucks for some competitors if you don't have it, you have no time to show it off. But like, it's just, I think it's cool. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so hard in like a division like this. Like how creative can you get,
I don't think there should be weight caps in classic. I think the weight caps put a massive limitation on as to who can excel. Like you said, your frame itself. Because you look at the guys actually from the golden era, I don't even know if that's like what they're trying to model after. Mm-hmm. What you see is with a lot of these guys is in classic, like take someone like yours, right? Yours cannot put on any weight. He's completely filled out, right? The next step from there is to go open. You go to open, now you have to get so much fucking bigger. And so many things can go wrong. Your lines get ruined. Everything gets blown out. And like, you just don't look that good at that size, which honestly, I feel like most people just genuinely don't. But there's like that middle ground where you get a little bit bigger than what that weight cap is. And now you have that perfect golden era physique, but you have nowhere where you can actually excel with that physique. So,
no, I agree too. I definitely think that it should be, now there shouldn't be a weight cap. I think it'd be cool to not, or let me put it this way. I think it'd be cool to not have a weight cap, and classic physique is just strictly based off of the look. Yeah. If you are if you're not even too big, if you're just like out of proportion where you don't have this classic flow, you're out. Yeah. You don't fit the criteria. If you could be like you said, like me, maybe I can be another 20 pounds. I still fit the criteria because I have that look. Awesome. Mm-hmm. But if you're too small, like it's just, it has to go off this proportionate classic look rather than a weight cap. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it just, there's no control in the judging. Yeah. People start to steer things one way, and then now we have these guys who are fucking huge that are winning, or they're only just focused on the super striated glutes, which then can fuck somebody's whole look up because they look better fuller. So I don't know. There's just really no control in the division as to how things go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a cool concept, bodybuilding, but it obviously has its flaws in that way, as we're talking about. Like, there's no control. Yeah. I think it'd be cool. I saw like Joe Rogan talking about this. Like, he likes physical contact sports. How could you make bodybuilding physically contact?
How could you make bodybuilding physically contact?
I feel like it would just be like, WWE or some shit. Like wrestling. I don't know. Or it could be like steered the wrong direction where like...
It would be pretty gay.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to say that, but like, yeah, it would be just jacked men wrestling and like an oiled up. Like, it's just gay.
In the posing trunks?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. I don't know what you could do. It's just like, as I said, there's limitations within the division, which is also, I guess, fine. But I don't know.
Just bare knuckle boxing.
People would pay for that. People would pay for jack dudes fighting for sure. Yeah. But then once again, like, they would have to like have a sister company or some shit where it's like muscle fights. I don't know, vague name.
Yeah, you couldn't make it. It's not designed to be a combat sport.
I know.
There used to be more rivalry in the sport, which I think is super important, which we don't see. I think the whole culture is everybody in bodybuilding seems like they're afraid to speak up or kind of like just, I don't know, I guess like show any type of emotion, be cocky. Like there's nobody that, obviously it's bodybuilding, so I don't know. If you're passionate about something, I don't think it really matters, but we don't have anybody that's like McGregor, or even if you look back 10 years ago, how Phil and Kai acted, how these people acted, like that brought so many more people. It brought so much more interest into the sport. I don't think there's ever been that many people that were interested in open since then. Yeah, and it really had to do with that dynamic that they created. And now nobody talks, nobody says anything. There's nothing entertaining about it, really. I mean, I honestly find bodybuilding very fucking boring to watch. Like, I like to participate in it, but I can't sit there and watch bodybuilding shows.
I agree with you. I mean, I actually saw a post on Instagram today of how Samson, he took his shirt off at the press conference and was the only person displaying his physique, and everyone else was just like, no hiding it. You'll see it on show day tomorrow. There's none of that like hyping it up before the stage, or no one's actually like having a rivalry or anything like that. People will talk shit on the internet a little bit, kind of be like, oh bro, his glutes aren't in, like, it's like just a stupid bodybuilding lingo, but it's nothing for like the general pop to be like hyped about this, like, yo, big Samson versus Derek, like who's gonna go, Yeah. There's none of that.
They're very introverted people.
They are.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need a Conor McGregor in like this division to just be like loudmouth, confident, but could also walk the walk behind all that talk.
Yeah, which is what somebody like Phil did.
Yeah, he did.
But even back before then, if you look at how they used to put on shows in the 80s and the 90s, was completely fucking different. I mean, they would actually have like themes for the shows for the Olympia, and they would make it look cool, and all these guys would come in suits. Like, it was like the whole environment was just different.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to dollars and cents, money, sponsors, things like that. These have the black curtain behind the stage, but nowadays that black curtain is covered up by a digital, wallpaper of all the sponsors, BPI, all these colorful, beautiful like logos. So now it's like everyone's like, I can't see the bodybuilders because there's this HD pixelated megawatt screen, So yeah, it definitely like takes away. So it's like, what do you do?
I don't know.
That's the struggle with the business. You got to figure out what was more, the reputation of it, the legacy that it started with, or the dollars and cents. At the end of the day, it's a business,
See, but that comes back to what we were saying about business. I think everything kind of went downhill in this sport. It seems like all that happened after Joe Weider died, and Joe Weider was the one who had the passion. Yeah, and that was his vision. Yeah, and the athletes got paid. They were paid from the IFBB. The shows were better. Yeah. It seemed like everything was better. They were contracted athletes. I mean, obviously this was years ago. Things have changed in the world, but it just seems like bodybuilding overall was much better back then. And then once he was gone, and now there's people who are in charge that are strictly just money oriented and don't have that vision that they want to stick by, which is what I'm assuming. It seems like things aren't really as good as they once were.
Yeah, I agree. I can't tell who's breathing in this mic. Is it you or me? It's these very shallow breaths, and I think it's me. I keep trying to push this farther away. I'm like, dude, come on. I don't want to hear my breath.
It might be me.
I don't know.
Can you hear that? Mm-hmm. Let's breathe this way. Do you guys like the in-person studio setup? Do you prefer that I continue doing them online? Which I don't know why you would. The quality's worse. The sound is worse. Everything's kind of worse about it. But to each their own. Maybe some people have their own preferences and they like seeing, Zoom calls or Skype calls, or I don't even remember how I did them. Riverside FM is a nightmare. If you're watching this and considering using that, don't. But yeah, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anybody you want to see specifically come onto the podcast, let me know. Let them know. Go into their comments, spam them, say, hey, go on Sebastian Burka's podcast, make it happen. Make it so well known, put it in their face so much that they cannot ignore it, and they're forced to show up here in the studio and have a great discussion for you guys to witness, right? Because that's what this is all about. But yeah, I know I haven't been putting these out very consistently lately. That's partially because I was busy setting this whole studio up, which took some time. And I do want to get more people in here. I'd rather do this more often than do them online. I know that's not going to be realistic for everybody. I'm still going to have to do some online, but partially because of that, also partially because I've been spending the past 2 months actually enjoying bodybuilding again, just fully living that lifestyle, being able to train more like a bodybuilder, integrate a lot more hypertrophy work, actually eating on a meal plan, being consistent with that, just living the bodybuilder lifestyle, which I haven't been able to do for over a year now. So just being able to put a lot of my time into that has obviously, as a byproduct, taken away from this to some extent, but it's felt good. It's been great. And I'm happy to be back in the gym pushing, not how I used to, but getting there and making significant progress, muscle wise, aesthetically wise, doing things that I haven't been able to do for the past year. So it's been cool. But yeah, guys, as always, if you order anything from HD Muscle, make sure you use code SEB, get a little discount. Why spend more when you could spend less with code SEB? You guys know I love HD. I'm not going to talk about it any more than that. If you don't know who they are by now, check them out. And without further ado, let's get back to the podcast. You're 22 now, right?
Yeah.
And you started training when you were 16. What do you think it was like achieving success at that age? Do you think there's anything that was negative about it? Have you reflected on that at all?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was thinking about that earlier today. So, I mean, like, I started working out at 14. I quit soccer. I told my parents I wanted to do this. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to do this. I know that it's possible to make a living off of it, so I wanted to put my marbles in here. And before college even came, I was making enough money to show that it was possible to do this. So it was cool. And I, was able to show my parents that, and they're like, okay, like, give it a shot. So yeah, I had like early financial freedom and stuff like that. I think the negatives were, I'll explain in a second. Before I get there, I luckily set myself up to already be aware of the potential negatives, and I avoided them. And the way I did that was because I worked jobs before making money through social media. If I was the kid I was making, I was 17, making already very good money from this. If I never worked a real job and I just made this internet money, I wouldn't know the true value of a dollar. For example, I was a busboy and a lifeguard, which sure, they're not hard jobs, but they're typical teenage jobs that you do. I worked 40-hour weeks when I was 14. It would do overtime. Every single overtime shift would come. I would pick that up. I saved my money up to buy my first car when I was 18. Like, I put I think $17,000 down at 18 years old, all for myself, which was pretty cool to do. My mom would help me drive me to the gym. She would help drive me to work. So I knew the time and the value of other people and everything like that. So yeah, it showed me, okay, actually working 1 hour was worth $11, $10. And then that's worth 3/4 of your Chipotle bowl. So I was able to understand that value. So luckily when I was able to make this good money through social media, I wasn't just splurging and spending all this money. I was smart with it. So that was a negative I did avoid. Negatives that potentially happened. I would say I experienced it very lightly, and then I was aware of it and I avoided it, and it was comfortability. So what I mean by that is as you have sponsorships and things like that, right? You can get comfortable in collecting that paycheck and you feel like you're not doing too much work, and maybe you can slack off a little bit. And then what could happen if you slack off too much is you get dropped, right? And then you lose that income. And let's say you weren't smart enough with your money and you bought a car with a hefty payment. You're paying rent now, and you're renting some stuff, whatever it is, right? And you lose a big income source of a sponsorship and because you weren't doing shit. Well, shit, you just lost your job, So luckily that never happened to me, but it was something I was aware about. So I always avoided that, or luckily was, cautious to avoid it. So I wouldn't say I didn't hit any real negatives. The negatives would be, I guess, dabbling in PEDs at a young age, which, accelerated some aging effects, things of that sort. But at the end of the day, Where the Millers, Meet the Millers, that movie, the guy saying no regrets and he spells it wrong. Yeah. It's at the end of the day, I don't really regret anything I did because every single decision showed me a lesson within it. And if you didn't learn a lesson, then you should regret it. But I was able to learn a lesson from everything I pretty much did because I just always self-reflect.
And you started making money when you were 17.
Yeah. I mean, I just turned 17. My first sponsorship was VQ. VQ Fit, remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jesse was with them.
Yeah, me and Jesse joined around the same time. So my first money there was nothing substantial. I was still working my jobs as a lifeguard, and then I worked at Bobby's Burger Palace for a week. So it was a waiter there. But yeah, I remember making $80 for commission for a month, and 110, nothing crazy. And then right around when I turned 18, or the month before I signed with Gorilla. And then my commission checks. And I was making YouTube money too. At one point, like at 17, I was making like, I think 3K in total for the month at like 17. So that's pretty good money, you know, at 17 years old doing online social media stuff. So yeah, that money I was able to save up for my car, things like that, pay for my groceries, pay for my phone, all that type of good stuff, insurance. And then when I was 18, it really took off to like big boy money where I was financially independent, freedom, like with ease.
What is big boy money? Was there a specific moment that you can recall where you're like, holy shit, my life just changed?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was 18, when I moved out to, before I moved out to LA, I was 18. Sorry, I touched your foot. A little weird.
It's okay.
So I was 18. COVID happened. I was living at David Lade's house. I just signed with Gorilla as their first athlete with James English.
Is this when I came to David's? Is that okay.
Yeah, right on that time. So I just signed with Gorilla, and like Derek just started Gorilla Mind itself. It used to be just nootropics, and he branched out to pre-workout. I was like, hey, I'm going to scale the supplement company. You want to be my first athlete? Said yeah. So me and James signed at the same time. Like one of their first posts, you'll see a photo of me and James. And my first commission check with them was like $600. And that was on top of making YouTube money already. And then Gymshark I was already with, so I was making money there too. So I remember that money. And then for like the next year, it just skyrocketed to a large amount that like I won't disclose, but it went from that to like a teacher salary in like a month.
1 month was equivalent to a teacher salary.
Like stupid money. So yeah, and I remember like when I first signed, because Gorilla was growing like crazy, had so much hype behind them that like I went from like 600, 800, 12, like 3, 8, 10, 12. Just like these numbers just kept growing to the point where I was then I went to LA for like 3 weeks with David for a little bit, and I loved it out there. It was during COVID times, and like LA was still popping. Like Zoo Culture was kind of like a speakeasy kind of open. So I was like, yo, this spot's really cool. I was in like a little depressed phase. I was like, yo, we got to go out here. So I spoke to Grant, spoke to Jesse. We got a little apartment. I was paying like maybe $800 a month in rent. And I just knew, I was like, okay, cool. Like I can easily afford this $800 in rent. I didn't have a car out there. So all I got to worry about is rent, my gym membership, paying Grant to be my videographer, and groceries.
How the fuck were you paying $800 in rent?
Because we had 3 people.
It was Jesse and Grant.
Me, Jesse, Grant. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So me and Grant shared a bedroom. Jesse had the master, and yeah, it was like 800, maybe 800, 900, something like that. Nothing crazy. So like, yeah, it was like, we made it work. And like that year, just like exponential growth and making a lot of money. And then from there, I was just able to figure life out, finances and all that good stuff.
And did that just continue to stay on? You're not with Gorilla, are you?
No, I left Gorilla in 2021. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So was there a point where where you hit a hiccup and you were like, I'm fucked? Or did it kind of stay just consistent?
I mean, the money, obviously, there's peaks and there's valleys. There's never like a steady, just like always trajectory up. If that was, that'd be awesome. But no, it's not the case. So, like, that was obviously one of the peaks, and there was times where like I went down to a valley and I'd come back up and stuff like that, and then I'd find like a medium. So like I wouldn't say there was necessarily a hiccup. There was definitely hiccups where it'd be like, okay, things changed, but this isn't like bankruptcy. It's nothing tragic. It's just like you got to realize, like with anything in sales, like there's hot months and there's not hot months. So it's just, okay, afford what you can afford. Don't overspend. Don't buy things you can't afford, and that's really it. Just don't be stupid. Don't be a kid.
You were a kid.
I know, but don't think like a kid.
You never splurged out?
Bought an R8.
Yeah, that's true.
Bought an R8.
You don't even have it here.
I know. It's at my parents' house, looking pretty.
What are you going to do with it?
Selling it for the business.
You are selling it.
That is my capital. Yep.
That's the capital for the business. Wow. Did you buy that? Do you own it outright?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I was never too big. Like I was being so young with credit was always like really weird because like I obviously didn't have much credit at a young age. So like
put money up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I bought that car outright. That was cool. And then when I went to get my first apartment with Allie, I had no credit history. So they were like, I bought the car. So they were like, okay, you can't rent from us. You're too young and there's no credit history. I was like, okay, can I pay it up front? Like the whole year? I was like, yeah. They're like, yeah. And I was in. And then because of that, I was able to then re-sign every single year and then build credit like after the first year. So then now the way I look at the business, which may be not the best way, but I'm like, okay, cool. This is how like I just equate my life. It's like, okay, cool. I'm making enough money right now for my current lifestyle and my current lifestyle, rent, groceries, bills, that sort. And this R8 that I have is chilling in my parents' garage in New Jersey, and I use it when I travel back up there to visit family. And at the end of the day, it's a toy car. It's a weekend car. It's something that I drive not too often, and it's something that I don't need in life.
Yeah.
So it's literally just sitting there. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm 22. I had this business idea, and I have great capital sitting there if I sell it. So if this business goes shit out the window and fails, okay, I'm still able to survive comfortably at my life, and I just lose that toy car. Sure, it's a risk, but like anything, I'd rather take that risk and reap the benefit. And right now probably is the best time for me to start this business because I'm 22. I have this idea. I have the connections. I know that this is something that's missing in the industry. And then on top of that, it's like, I don't have kids yet. I don't have like these things that I potentially could be scared about, It's just me and Allie.
Yeah. You keep talking about this business and nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
Some people know what it is.
Some people. Who knows what it is?
Some people.
How many people?
Like a handful.
A handful?
Yeah, just like a big handful like that.
5.
Like this.
10 people know.
Probably 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know.
It's so cool, dude. It's really cool.
What the fuck?
I think you'll like it.
What am I gonna know?
And I already have ideas outside of it, like expanding it. So like,
when am I gonna find out?
You gotta sign an NDA. This is said product, and then I have this one in the future that I already have, and then I have that one in the future right there.
What the fuck are you even talking about? This is Coca-Cola. That's water.
Well, and this is a phone. Mm-hmm.
Are you giving me like a bread, the invention of bread to Facebook analogy?
Bread to Facebook. I mean, like, think about just like when a company starts, right? Like, for example, let's use Gorilla Mind. They started with nootropics. That was his first ever stuff. It was Gorilla Mind Smooth and Gorilla Mind Rush. That's what Gorilla Mind was at the time. Then he opened up from the nootropic stack to pre-workout. It was nitric and mode. So now he had 1, 2, 3, 4 products. I will start with 1.
Oh.
Down the line, I have 2. I already have 3.
Yeah.
So I have ideas already ready to go if things, continue in motion.
Is it going to be something that has athletes behind it, or is it just going to be okay?
Yeah. So I'm excited for it.
So it's going to be supplements.
No. Supplement. Like, that's the thing. When I was like getting in this fitness space, like I have like 10K in like merch sitting in my parents' garage that I never did anything with because I didn't believe in it. Everyone tells you like if you're like a YouTuber or influencer, like make merch, it sells, And like I didn't really have a passion behind it. So I was like, okay, like yeah, sure, I'm making videos. People I know will buy merch, and I made some shirts, but I didn't really have like a full belief in it or was like really confident behind the products. Like I placed the order, I got them, and I never published it because I just never felt confident in them. So yeah, I have like a bunch of money just sitting in merch in my parents' garage I didn't do anything with.
It's shirts of your name?
I have like 3 designs. I have a Road to Pro shirt, which now obviously is like ancient. I have a shirt that says hey, because I used to say hey all the time. And then I have this tattoo on a shirt. And like maybe one day I'll sell it and people will still pick it up and be like, yo, this is OG Ant merch. But like right now it's just chilling.
That's crazy.
I know.
Never even posted about it.
Nope.
Just threw the money out.
Literally.
Tax write-off.
But I guess. But that's the thing. It was just like I wasn't confident in it, so I never fully went through with it. But this one, like, I'm confident. I'm excited. I'm excited to go through with it.
Have you talked about it on social media at all?
I mean, on my YouTube video, I talked about wanting to explore entrepreneurship. And then I talked about, I thought of the idea, and I talked about me now changing my lifestyle to build this brand.
So will this be the first piece of content that goes out where you're actually saying that you're doing something? One
of them, yeah. I mean, like in my most recent YouTube video, I actually talked about, in the end of my video, I was like talking about like reading and entrepreneurship and how like the business I then thought of is in motion. So that was like the most I've ever said. But yeah, this is the most I've talked about it is right now, right here on the brass talk.
Yeah. Well, now you're held to it. You can't.
I know. Imagine if I don't fucking pull through, it'd be like, what the fuck? This kid's just a puss.
Yeah. Fucking year goes by, still
I
nothing.
Know. Right, crazy. I mean, here's the thing. I already signed to put money into R&D, so like that's just me wasting more money.
Yeah, I mean, I've paid money for a patent for something that I never even.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the patent?
It was I have it downstairs. I'll show you.
Okay.
It's a device.
Is it the thing that you told me about?
The roller thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do anything with it?
Because I'd have to go to a manufacturer, I think it's in Illinois or something, and like work with them to have it design it exactly how I want it. And I really just don't feel like doing that. That's really what it comes down to. So I just don't care enough about it to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess, yeah, you just,
so I just keep mine and use it when I want.
Yeah. I mean, my thing was right now it's in the R&D phase to create it and then go through trial and error of creating the perfect one. Once I have the formula, create a bunch of them, sell it.
Let's talk about Hawaii.
Sure.
How was Hawaii?
Hawaii was good. I mean, I was there for 4 days. Alex Toplin asked me to model for his board short company. And yeah, I did good. Freaking modeled for him. Felt good. We got out there. We left on Wednesday morning and I dressed in business attire. Like what I wore here on your New Year's Eve party is what I wore on the flight.
Why?
Because you know how they say, if you think who you want to become, dress who you want to become, act like you want to become. Yeah. So I went to the extreme and I was like, let me look like a businessman on this flight, sitting in the back of the plane. You
know what I've been doing every morning for like the past 3 weeks? I wake up and I get dressed.
Okay.
It sounds retarded.
No, but you just weren't doing that before.
I wasn't doing it before. I wake up, I put on sweatpants and
then just go downstairs and do whatever. Yeah.
But I wake up, I put on, jeans, I put on actual clothes, I put on my fucking watch, I dress nice, and I just
you feel like you're more productive.
Automatically more productive.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's something so simple, so little, but you just feel better. I go outside, like it's just the little shit like that.
But that's the thing, is now that you're aware of that, continue it.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of effort, but it just gives you such a reward. If you feel this way, you're working more efficiently. So like, okay, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Now when people get lazy, that's when they kind of fall back off. So just keep that in mind. Like I was the same way. I would wake up, just rot on the couch. Then when I was hungry, I'd go eat. But now it's like, okay, I wake up, skincare, do my hair, get dressed as well. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm ready to work. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Hawaii, I dressed in that business attire. I scheduled an Uber. Did you ever schedule an Uber before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I scheduled an Uber, right? And it was for $4.50. And we saw he was outside. He came right on time. I was like, okay, sweet. So me and I were like setting the cats up real quickly, feeding them. 4:55 comes, and then it says when you schedule an Uber, they have up to 5 to 15 minutes of canceling it. So as soon as that 5 minutes came up, bro, he just clicked cancel. Like we were literally about to open the door, and I just saw him drive off, and I see cancel. I was like, this dude, bro. I mean, sure, he was in his rights to do that, but like he was literally just nothing. Usually they give you a phone call like, hey, like you coming out? Anything? Like, nothing, bro. He just like canceled one of that free $25. I disputed that, got my money back, which thankfully, because it would have been such a rough start of not getting my money back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we had another Uber guy, picked us up, went to the airport, went to our flight to Dallas. I said in my YouTube video, I was like, all right, because I was modeling, right? I had to look good for the shoot, so I did a little mini cut. And I was like, all right, cool. I got to eat protein veggies on this plane because I don't want to be watery because, planes make you hold on to water sometimes. So I'll do protein veggies. Failed. First, I folded, bro. We landed in Dallas because that's where our layover was. First thing, McDonald's for breakfast. I haven't eaten McDonald's in months, but it was just so tempting. McDonald's breakfast is good.
Yeah.
Got an egg McMuffin, sausage McMuffin, pancakes. Went on the flight, did some coaching work, whatever. Got to Hawaii. We were staying at a compound, bro. It was so motivating to be there. So it's Alex's coach. Alex is a coach, right? One of his clients, his dad owns this house. He's a businessman. He doesn't say what he does. He's just a businessman. He's been retired since he's had kids. He has like 4 houses. One's in Hawaii, one's in Denver, one's in Houston, one's in New York, right across from the United CEO was shot. So this man's very successful. Not sure what he does, but pretty cool to have that lifestyle. Just off the face of the internet. Yeah. No clue what he does, and he's just successful.
Off the grid.
Yeah. So he let us stay at his beautiful house. Like he told us, Tiger Woods stayed at our house. Trash the place, so we have rules for you to follow. Respect our rules, please. And we're like, dude, absolutely. You let us stay here. Like, we're not gonna trash your place. So the house was beautiful. It was in a gated community on a golf course that was like PGA, certified. Like they use it for the golf tournaments. And the best way to explain it was in a gated community, pretty deep in there. And the house was one big house, and then up on this hill was the guest house. We stayed in the main house, and it was just huge, bro. It was custom. It was insane. Huge house. The back was open doors to an infinity pool overlooking some more like houses, like over $1 million in landscaping. He had like a house guy, a landscaper, a mini golf course, like a driving range and shit on his house. Like it was insane. We could see the ocean from the pool and the other island of Hawaii across the ocean. So that was nuts. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Super
motivating to hear. He's like, yeah, people pay for vacation. Well, my vacation house is an investment. So it's like, you're a smart man. You're doing it right. So yeah, it was an awesome place to stay at. And then we did some modeling and shit like that. Did some good shoots. The Hawaiian people there are just super laid back, man. Like, they're super happy on island time. I was speaking to some dude like waxing his surfboard, and he was like, yeah, I'm an Alaskan resident. 6 months of the year I live in Alaska. 6 months I would come to Hawaii. And I work in Alaska, and then I just chill out here in Hawaii for 6 months and just surf up and shred.
What do they say? Aloha?
Yeah, aloha.
No, what's the fucking
Shaka?
Shaka,
yeah,
bra?
Yeah, they do
Is
that.
aloha the way of life? Is that what it is?
No.
Which one is that?
I don't know. It's a great question. I already forget.
What else did they say?
Shaka is this.
Shaka, bra.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha's hello. Not Milano. Something.
Mona.
Mona's a character. I did not see Mona. But yeah, we shot for 2 days. The last day, took a little bit of psilocybin, went to the beach for like 5 hours, got burnt to a crisp, and turned into a nice tan.
Did you take the acid?
I did not actually, bro.
Why?
I still got it. I can give it back to you if you want.
What happened? You got scared?
No, it was just, we had 1 day to like be free, and I was like, okay, when I'm working doing the shoot, like I won't take it because I just want to, actually do my job as I was here for. So the 1 day we were there, I had a sponsorship for a paid partnership for like the psilocybin. So I was like, okay, I'll take this for the video and stuff like that. So I did. So now this LSD wasn't consumed.
Wow.
You look pissed.
Wow. You didn't see the sea turtles.
I didn't see the sea turtles, but we were at a beach where there was a cliff jump, and like I was tempted to do it because we're gonna do it for like the modeling shoot, like jumping off the cliff. But it wasn't like no like touristy thing. Like you had to swim out like 60 feet, hopefully catch a wave that brings you high enough so you can grab onto the rock and then literally like Tarzan your way up the rock.
You're talking about Black Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So that's where it was, and like I didn't do it. Alex and Dorian went, and like their fucking shins, feet were all scraped up, and like I just know like I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't do good. And I would just hurt myself.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. Yeah, we were just out on the beach. I had my ball with me. Was just walking around.
You brought that with you?
Yeah, they came all the way to Hawaii.
That's crazy.
This went to Hawaii. This went to New Jersey. It's been in Tampa.
What is that? Is that like a
it's my shroom
OCD
ball
thing?
No, I mean I just bought it one day on shrooms in Target because me and Allie went to Target, and whenever I'm at Target, I like that store.
You like Target?
I do like Target because when I'm there, I'm actually able to like for some reason I'm able to like hyper fixate on their layout of the store, and it's just so well done, and I genuinely appreciate it. And we were there on like a Saturday. It was just filled with people, and there was just I could just see and focus on all these mix of people, every ethnicity, every type of shape, size, person. Kids being loud, parents screaming, and it was like very overstimulating.
Talking about going on
in Target.
shrooms.
When I was on shrooms in Target.
Okay.
Allie was picking out bathing suits, and I just saw a person walk my way that humored me, and I wanted to excuse myself because I didn't want to laugh in their face. So I walked away and I saw this ball, so I just grabbed the ball and I was like, cool. I just kept throwing it in my hands, and I was like, dude, I really freaking like this ball. So then we were checking out, and I was like, get rid of the ball. I was like, it's $10, bro. I'm like, I'm buying that ball. And then I was like, I'll Venmo you for it. And then she was like pissed a little bit. She's like, why are you buying the ball? I was like, bro, this ball speaks volume to me. And it's been my best investment ever. Actually, I thought of the best ideas while juggling this ball. Like you could just go like this, like when you're on shrooms, you can just close your eyes and you know exactly where it's going. See, right now, not on shrooms, so I didn't know where it was going. But
you're not in tune.
I'm not in tune.
You're not tapped in.
I'm not tapped in. So one day, if I have an HQ CEO freaking mega fuck building in like wherever, this will be in a glass case in the office, and this will be the ball, the mascot, the Wilson Shroom ball.
You're gonna sign it?
No, I don't think it needs my signature. I just think everyone needs to touch it that comes a part of the company and just absorb the powers it holds, because it's a very special ball.
Get that energy.
You want it?
Creative energy. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the ball. Flight there was pretty cool. Hawaii was dope. I mean, you've been to Hawaii, you know what it's like.
Hawaii's great.
Hawaii's awesome. I now get freaked out of planes going to Hawaii.
See, but you didn't have a car there, so you didn't really travel around, did you?
We rented cars, so like we traveled. We did the road to Hana, or whatever it's called, where like we went around the island.
You did that whole road? You did that whole trip?
No, we didn't do the whole road. We
fuck
did like
that.
half of that.
But
yeah,
I was there before. I was there like 2 weeks before Lahaina burnt down, so I don't know.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
what
we
you saw.
We saw the burnt houses and shit. It was crazy.
Everything's gone.
I mean, it was already demolished. So what we saw, like burnt brick, burnt shit. Yeah. they say like don't bring it up, but like yeah, we were on the road where it was just like land, no more houses.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's devastating. Yeah, man, it is crazy.
It is.
Go ahead.
It's pretty dry there too. I first went there, I thought it was going to be kind of more like a jungle vibe. It's pretty fucking dry there.
North Island, they say, is jungle. It's very humid and moist, like literally a rainforest.
Nothing's over there though.
No, it's literally just jungle and greenery. But yeah, where we were staying, like that near the airport, it's all dry there. So that's where the fires broke out. That's where the fires broke out and just absolutely destroyed and wreaked havoc. And when I went to one of the restaurants one day, and a guy there recognized me. He's like, "Yo, Ant, what's up, dog?" I was like, "What's up, bro? How you doing?" He's like, "Yo, dude, I used your code for Young LA." He's like, "Yeah, it's the only thing I was able to get out of the fires, man, was the Young LA pants." I was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "God bless you, dude." It was crazy, man. But yeah, I mean, Hawaii culture is definitely just happy people, happy life. Be awesome to have like a vacation house there with like, I don't know, getting there through boat, because now I'm scared of planes.
Why? Because of the plane that just went down from the helicopter?
You know what the craziest thing is? Did I tell you about like the intuition thing that I have now? If I think of something kind of happens, which I'm not even saying this in a cocky way. I have these fucking senses.
I think everybody has intuition.
Yeah, I think everyone does, but you just gotta be like, if you're aware of it, like it feels like strong and powerful. That morning when we were going to the flight on the American Airlines to go to Hawaii, I was like, I have a feeling something's gonna happen. I was like, I did the prayer. I was like, God bless, hope it doesn't happen to me, man, or anyone. But I just thought about the 9/11 attacks, and I remember American Airlines is one of the flights that hit one of the towers, and I was like, great, I'm going on American Airlines flight. I'm just super scared. And that day, the Washington Black Hawk helicopter versus the American Airlines flight went down, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then when we were on our trip too, the other one, what was that? The one in Philadelphia, like 2 or 3 days later happened. I was like, dude, this is a horrible time to be flying right now. I do not like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm like scared of. I wonder if like I'm gonna die on a plane in my future.
The odds are very, very, very slim.
I know it's like
but it's possible.
It is. Yeah. I mean, just like anything, I think the odds are better for you to die in a car accident and shit like that. But still, it's just like,
isn't that crazy how you drive every day and don't die in a car accident?
Mm-hmm.
How many people do?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know.
Like the odds are very high. Actually, I don't know if they're that high, but it happens pretty often.
Yeah. What do you think the most common? I mean, drug overdose is the most common way of death besides natural causes.
Drug overdosing outside of natural causes, I feel like it has to be accidents.
Yeah.
You think that many more people?
OD?
I don't know. I wish I had a producer here so I could say look that up.
One day.
Pull that up.
Yo, fucking, what's your name? Kodak.
Melfi. Gizmo, pull that up. How many people die from drug overdose?
Gizmo's Marilyn Monroe, right?
What do you mean?
Gizmo's the hot looking cat?
Gizmo's the ragdoll.
The hot one.
The bougie one, yeah, sure. Yeah.
She looks like Marilyn Monroe.
Why?
Because she's got like that mole, just like Marilyn Monroe. She's got like the beautiful, like she looks hot. It's a cat.
I mean,
no bestiality shit. Like she's like a hot cat.
Dude, I was watching this.
Where is this gonna go? You're watching this what?
Horse fuck? No. I was watching Theo Von's podcast with this lady earlier. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I don't know. I can't remember. But she was basically fighting the battle against porn and Pornhub and all that stuff.
As in she was addicted to porn?
No, as in she had discovered that a lot of the porn on Pornhub was basically people being sex trafficked, and it was abuse and stuff like that. And I forget what she said at some point, but there was like over 56 million videos on Pornhub. And after they went through all this process, 50 million of those videos had to get taken down.
So 50 million out of 56 million?
Yeah, I don't know if those all were people being trafficked, but 50 million out of 56 million were deemed unacceptable to be there.
Wow.
I don't even know why I just said that. I don't know what you said before that.
Oh, your cat being hot.
Oh, yeah. I guess that is what incited that.
One of our waitress we had at the last restaurant we were at Hawaii knew everyone, supposedly. She knew the CEO of Celsius, and she grew up with the owner of Pornhub. Yeah.
One time I was sitting outside a cafe in Denver, and this guy comes up to me, and he's sitting next to me. He's like, "Hey, you work out?" I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." I was like, "You ever see Pump and Iron?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You know that scene when they ask Arnold that question, and he says he feels like he's coming in the gym?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "My butt." He's like, "My buddy. He was the interviewer. He asked him that question."
Wow. Nice to meet you. I mean, I met right before I came here. We went to Naked Farmer. And there was a young man looking very businessy, like very professional, like the way he dressed. So I went up to him. I said, "Hey man, what do you do for work?" And he laughed and he goes, "I'm a hockey player." And there was a hockey game going, the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Ottawa Senators or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, cool. What's your name?" He's like, "Shane." I was like, "Nice to meet you, man." And I looked him up, and then his name was Shane Pinto, plays for the Senators, and he was a center or some shit like that. So it was kind of cool.
He was a senator?
Center
Oh.
for the Senators.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that a fucking team, the Senators?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know anything about hockey.
Neither do I.
Have you been to a hockey game?
No.
Grant plays hockey, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Was he good? You think he was good?
I don't know.
Probably not. I'm kidding. Probably so.
I have no
What
idea.
position do you think he played? I don't know positions. Like
I don't know
defense, attack,
Center.
center. I'll
Senator.
go with center.
He was the senator.
Center for the Senator. That's funny as shit.
Fucking. So, are you taking psilocybin? How frequently are you using this stuff?
Once every 5 days, I would say.
That's wait. Back when you had that intuition about the plane, were you on psilocybin?
No.
Do you feel like your senses are enhanced? Your intuition's enhanced on psilocybin?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's weird, man. You just feel like extremely, I don't want to use the word holy because that feels like religious, but you feel so pure. And all your thoughts, like, you know, when you have these thoughts and like they'll come in your mind, you just kind of think about it and then it exits your mind. Like you'll hyper fixate on a thought and then just like believe in it, or like it will just be super focused and you'll just be like directly in this thought for so long and like shit just happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not even something you can predict the future, but like I just think about like business ideas or creative ideas for social media or myself or things I'm gonna do, and I just get them done more. And then I'll just be like, I'm able to map out the thought process and like execution of it so much easier. And it's like when you take it, it's just like the motivation's super high, focus is super high, clarity is super high. And it feels honestly like, to me, it feels like the purest form of the human mind possible. Like if we took a baby's brain and gave it the knowledge and intelligence we know now, without any of the potential negative effects of like, you know, our phone screens, blue light, microplastics, anything that could harm our brains, that is what a psilocybin brain is like. Just the purest form of the brain.
So you're saying you're more intelligent?
Yeah, one of the things, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm pretty sure they have scans or whatever the fuck it is of people. I don't know if it's psilocybin or LSD or both, where you could literally see that there.
The brain activity is way higher.
Brain activity is way higher.
Yeah, no, not even just that. It's just like you have to try it to understand it. I mean,
You're tapped in.
That's exactly. It's literally it. It's just you're tapped in, and it's like
people think it's just you're just high. I don't know how. Like there really is no way to explain it unless you've done it.
Yeah,
it's impossible to even.
And it's not even like you're giggly and like you're retarded, like you're drunk or you're high. You like playing footsies over there, bro?
Is that your foot?
Yeah,
that was my croc.
Your two crocs are over there. But it's like there's not a high of like drunk or like being incoherent.
No.
It's actually way more coherence, you know? Like for example, I took it on New Year's Eve when you had your party. And leading up to the party, I was on it. And I was scrolling on creative ideas for marketing my business. And I just like went ham on someone's Instagram page, dissecting their aesthetic, their layout, their swipe, and everything. And I was able to envision how they think of, you know, creating their post, from the angle to everything. And I was like, holy shit. Like you're able to just map things out so beautifully.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a point where if you take an excessive amount, even if you take an excessive amount, I would never refer to psychedelics as a high. There's definitely a point where like things get
distorted,
yeah. Out of control. I don't know what that is. It's very it's very interesting.
Whenever I take, I'm not taking it at like a hero dose, they call it. I'm not taking an extreme amount. I'm still taking a microdose because I just like being tapped in. But like I won't sit here and be like tripping and be like seeing the walls melt and like God in front of me or elves.
See, but that's what it feels like. It feels like you're so tapped in at that point to where it's just like you're not even able to what's the word I'm looking for? Comprehend what's happening. Like we're just not evolved enough. I don't know. It kind of sounds like I'm saying some conspiracy shit, but it literally just, it seems like you've tapped into like some sort of dimension where you can't even comprehend it. It doesn't feel like you're high. It feels like there's literally shit going on around you where
you're able to understand more than where most people can't. Is that what you're saying?
You're able to experience shit that the average person cannot, but you're also at the same time not able to fully comprehend it just because of the limitations that we have.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I delved into DMT before, and going into those different dimensions itself was mind-blowing. And it honestly trips me out to this day because there's other shit 100% out there.
Scared.
I'm definitely a little bit scared now to some degree because it's like, it's knowing that it's there, and it's not like saying I want to go there. Like, because they say you release DMT when you die, right? You have like 7 minutes of it or some BS, whatever. DMT gets released. But what I saw two trips. First one was very calming, very warm. Both of them were honestly very calm and warming, but the last one was a little bit of a bad trip. So the first one, I took it, I closed my eyes, I'm sitting there. And the best way to explain it is your conscience literally escapes your body and goes into, I would say, thin air. It goes to a different dimension, different reality, whatever it is. And you don't want to open your eyes on this stuff because this reality is warped. Like these cameras and everything, the light, it just doesn't make sense. Like you'll look at the light and then you'll be like, not even questioning of like how that light's projected. It's just the math equation of the way it's situated there is like, doesn't even process in your brain. You're just like
it's like matter's distorted.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. So you close your eyes and you see the trippy hippie shit that you think of when you think of hippies, you know? The colors, not holographics, the kaleidoscope shit. And what I was able to see was just this warm, loving white and gold hue. And it was like these diamonds multiplying from 2 to 4 to 8, 16, and so on. And I was kind of bobbing in harmony. And I was just like questioning in my head because I knew I was going through this. And I was like, where am I? What am I experiencing? And I kind of wanted to force an answer in my brain, and I just couldn't. But when I was escaping, the answer that came to me was, this is the universe. This is where you are. And don't question it. It just all makes sense. And I escaped, and I opened my eyes up, and I was like back to reality. And I was like, I felt overwhelmed by love and just comfort. And I was like, holy shit, that was nuts. I was like, okay, I want to go deeper. What's next? So I went deeper.
Okay.
Took an extra maybe 2 or 3 hits. The best way to explain it, what it feels like is, once again, you feel your conscience escape you. And your body feels so heavy, it feels weightless. That your being itself, like it's like if you die, you lose the feeling of your body, and your conscience, your brain, your soul, whatever it is, goes into that other reality. And I saw the same things I was seeing was the beautiful, warm kaleidoscope colors, and I was bobbing in harmony, and I was definitely going into a deeper dimension. It was increasing the, what's the word? The potency, it was getting deeper. And I wasn't able to be sane. I was like, holy shit, this seems a little bit too much for me. And I got aware of it, and I tried to stop. I was like, okay, this is a little bit too much. Let me get out. I tried to open my eyes to escape, and sound doesn't make sense. As we talked about, matter doesn't make sense. And I was like, fuck. None of this makes sense. I have to close my eyes and go through what I'm supposed to go through now because I decided to go to this dimension. So I closed my eyes again, and I was going at like very fast speed, supersonic speed of these different visions and views. And all of these views were very familiar places. If you look up on Google, like familiar places, it's like these eerie kind of strange empty rooms. And I didn't see like the entity elves or anything like that, but I was able to see these large beings being in like very basic red, green, and blue colors. And each view in each room was from a different perspective. So I would be on top of the room. Each room was like a square, right? I'd be viewing it from the ceiling, viewing it from like a corner of the floor, viewing it from the door, from the walls. Like everything was different. And the rooms all felt like something I saw in my childhood. So the examples I would say is like one of those big cubes that have like A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4 on it. The little toy at the doctor's office with the little shapes on the puzzle you take on the wire from one side to the other. One felt like a McDonald's, and I was just like, seeing so much of this at supersonic speeds. And I was like, I wanted to escape. So it felt longer than what it was. In reality, it was 3 minutes. Like it was recorded 3 minutes of time. That's all it was. But it felt like maybe like 7. And I just wanted to get out and I couldn't. And I remember trying to absorb as much as I was viewing and ready to recite it to my friends. And I couldn't. It's just, you're just so overwhelmed by it that it just doesn't make sense to share, but you just laugh and you're like, holy shit, it just makes sense. Like that's all you could say. It just makes sense. And it's definitely something interesting because there's just shit out there, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my experience. And I kind of wanted to go back, but it's just a little bit overwhelming to actually want to go back.
Yeah, no. Once you have an experience that's that intense, it's very hard to want to do it again. I mean, I didn't touch LSD for 5 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I did it when I was 16 a few times, and I did a lot, and I had a crazy intense experience, and I had like fucking paranoia from that.
Yeah.
And I just never had the desire to go do it again until she wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did it with her, and it was
good.
Yeah, it was significantly better, but I obviously didn't do anywhere near as much, and obviously the entire environment dictates that as well.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy because you just come to like the full realization that you could sit here and say that the world is really just reliant on. It's not reliant, but everything just comes down to your perception.
Yeah.
And just the way that we are designed. And if we were designed a little bit different, how different this entire world could be perceived.
Yeah. It's a big mind fuck.
It is really a big mind fuck.
Because I was watching like a reel or something I was talking about. It was like a motivation thing of, I don't even want to recite it because I know I'm going to butcher it, but it was something about your perception versus perceptive. Something like that. I don't even want to get into it because I don't even know how to explain it.
Are you talking about perception versus perspective?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get into it because I can't explain it, but I saw something about this shit the other day.
That's like philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have your own perception, so you're limited as to what you can understand versus perspective where I could sit here and understand how you might be viewing things.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very
a lot of people don't have perspective. They only have their own perception. Everybody's limited and they're trapped in their own ego.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think psychedelics I think they're cool. I think they're something that's going to be a tool to many. I mean, it's just interesting the way that, I'm more of a holistic type of guy. So, I mean, just modern medicine in general, kind of just like laboratory shit. Kind of interesting. Versus like, all right, something out in nature does this to you. Seems a little bit more promising to me.
I don't think LSD is natural.
LSD is made in the lab, with rye seed. But mushrooms, which I do consume, are out in the wild.
Have you ever trained on psychedelics?
Yeah, I told you this.
When?
You in prep. I took a little bit of shrooms one day, and then you were like talking to me, and I was like really happy. You're like, why the fuck are you so happy? I was like, I'm on a little shrooms. I was like, it makes prep go by so much easier because you're just happy and like you don't really think about much.
So you're doing that consistently?
No. When I was on prep, I mean, like I've done shrooms consistently, yes, but like on prep, I maybe did it like once or twice. So yeah, I mean, training itself, I've microdosed LSD on when I was like 18, and I had an awesome experience. I was 18 years old. It was my senior week of graduating high school. We all go down to Wildwood, and I wasn't going myself because I didn't get a house because I was in prep for my national show, my second national show. Are these still rolling? They are. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna drive down to Wildwood. It was like an 1.5-hour drive where we got my friend Frank. And then go hang out. It was supposed to be lingerie night. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to meet some girls.
Lingerie night?
Yeah, there was themes every night. So there was like, I don't know, like lingerie was the night I went to. Maybe there was like fucking disco night or some bullshit.
This is for 17-year-old girls?
Yeah. Hot, right? I'm kidding. Most of us were 18 because, you graduate high school at 18.
I would have been 17.
Well, then you could have been a minor.
Yeah.
So I was 18. And the girl in the story was also 18. But essentially what ended up happening was I go down there, I microdose a little bit of LSD. I'm driving down. Things are just happy. Things are beautiful. Listening to some good music. I work out. It's in a YouTube video. I forget what it's titled, but it's me training at the Wildwood Hotels with my friend Frank, and I recorded the whole thing and essentially worked out. I was like in this weird stage because I like just started like tests and like I was just like rebounding awfully because all these influx of hormones, so I looked really weird. But Had a good workout, was like hanging out with my friends, ripping some nicotine, potentially getting a fucking lip tattoo like an 18-year-old would. And it was going to be lingerie night was coming up. So I was in my head because I didn't really go to too many parties in high school because like I was working, bodybuilding, and I wasn't really one to just drink, party, and hook up. I didn't really like that culture. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, let me go party tonight. And then I just got in my head, I had like some social anxiety, and I was like, I'm not gonna drink, and like, let me just like, screw it, I'll just go back home. So I talked to my friend Frank, who he was supposed to host lingerie night. Like everyone's supposed to go to his house, or he was one of the main houses hosting. I was like, yo, dog, like I'm gonna drive back home. Like I made a BS lie. I was like, I forgot like my Winstrol or some shit in my house, and like I need to take it. So like I gotta drive back up. He was like, all right, dog, like see you soon. Have fun. So I'm driving back up, and David Late's house was like a bit north of Wildwood, about like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm driving up. Me and Dave used to go to a little Nick shop in quarantine. So I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm like, let me go get some nicotine, turn around, and actually party, actually hang out, have a fun time. So I get like 3 little Nick sticks. We go drive back, and I'm just envisioning what's going to happen tonight. I still had a little bit of LSD in my system from like the morning. I was listening to the song Tiesto and Key Secrets, and I was like vibing. Windows were down, and the Mercedes I just bought, I was like having a good time. And I was like, yo, I'm going to meet this girl tonight because her name was like coming up like in talk as she was like trying to, I guess, hook up with some people. And people were declining her. And I was like, bro, I think she's hot. You know, I was like, I think this girl's hot. She was in my class. I was like, she's an innocent looking girl. Like, I like her. I'm going to give it a shot. So the story was essentially she, so I get to the party. I see Frank. Frank was in the middle of the street when I'm driving back to Wildwood. I'm like, yo, Frank, like, what are you doing? And he was like already drinking. And he's 21. I was like, Frank, what are you doing? He's like, hey, he's like, yo, party's gonna be at my house tonight. I was like, sweet. So go to his house. Park my car, go inside. People are like, yo, Ant, what's up? Like, haven't seen you since, because I lost like half of my year in senior year because of COVID. So, yo, congratulations on Gymshark. Congratulations on, YouTube, all your shit. Like, you're killing it. I'm like, thank you. They're hyping me up. It was kind of cool. And then the girl I was envisioning was at the party. The girl I was thinking about, she was at the party. I hugged everyone at the party but her. For just, honestly, just being a pussy.
Yeah.
Like, just avoided her. So everyone's like kind of partying, dancing on tables, drinking and like dancing. And I'm like, I'm not drinking. Like, I don't have this loose confidence and shit. So I'm like, I'm just going to see what's going on outside. So one of my friends was on door duty because he wasn't allowed into another party the other day because they didn't let him. I don't know. So he was on door duty denying people that didn't let him into the party. So I go outside. There's like 2 picnic benches. And at the tables, there was, we'll say, the girl that I was thinking about, we'll call her Zoe.
Gizmo.
Right? Gizmo. Okay, we use her cats. She was Gizmo, right? Okay. She was the hot cat. Okay. Gizmo. And then my friend was on door duty. And then there was a male interested in other males. That was her friend there. And then there was Kodak. I don't know. What's the other girl cat name? Melfi. Okay, then Melfi.
I thought you were saying there's a black guy.
No. So I got a Gizmo's girl I like. Melfi is the other girl there. My boy's at door duty. And then male, we'll call him Kodak.
Okay.
So I'm sitting down on the bench, and Melfi goes, oh my God, Anthony, man, hi. She's like, oh my God, you have such big muscles. I was like, thanks. Like, really cool. And then Gizmo and Kodak were arguing. I was like, what's going on? I was like, why are you guys arguing? And then Kodak was like, I matched with this guy on Tinder and they won't let me go back because I'm quote unquote crossed. And I was like, you're not letting me go back because he's crossed? I'm like, this guy's so sober. I'm like, what's your name? And he's like, I go to your school, dick. I was like, oh, my bad. And then I was like, dude, this guy's completely sober. I was like, let him go. And Gizmo comes up in my face. And she's like, fine, but you have to walk me back because I'm scared. I was like, bro, I'm in. I was like, deal. So I walked them back. We're kind of getting to know each other. They're very opposites of me, which was fine. Just very smart in school. They were going to some good colleges. I wasn't going to college. I'm a musclehead. And it was lingerie night. And she was wearing like a white lace bra. It was like pretty attractive. And yeah, so we dropped the kid off at the hotel for him to go meet up with the dude. And then me and Gizmo just started. I was like, yo, let's ditch the party. Too much going on. Let's like walk the boardwalk. We kind of hit it off. We're talking. And then we went back to the place. And that was the day I touched my first genitalia of the opposite gender. And I envisioned it. I envisioned that was going to happen.
Wow, you were a virgin until you were
18.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You lost your virginity, what, 14?
I was 13.
Jesus.
13.
Yeah, see,
maybe 12.
That
no,
was,
I think I was 13.
Those were the cool kids. That wasn't me. I was like, I wanted to, but I was honestly, I feel like most males are like potentially scared. You know, at like that age, like you don't know how you're gonna perform or this, that, or get judged. So I was just like in my own head. I was just like, I was like, I'll just keep using my hand. We'll see what happens.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, fuck it.
It worked out fine though.
It worked out fine. I got my queen now. I'm chilling. I enjoy my intercourse. It's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, LSD was great. That was my first experience of the potency of, you know, psychedelic kind of showing me life and showing me the powers it holds.
Did you stop smoking?
Marijuana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you stop?
I just like I felt super lazy on it, super unproductive, and the cotton amount that comes with it was just so severe towards the end where I was just like, dude, I can't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't enjoy it. Like sometimes I'd freak myself out on it. Like that didn't really happen too much. Like when you smoke consistently, I feel like it doesn't happen. But like then I did it sparingly. It was just like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's not good.
No. So I stopped smoking, and yeah, it's just psychedelics. At the moment, I hope I don't become Connor Murphy, bro.
Oh.
That's my worst fear, bro.
Oh, you saw John?
Yeah, but that's from ketamine.
Is that what that's from?
Yeah, he said ketamine therapy.
Oh.
Fucked with his kidneys.
He talked about it?
Yeah, I've never done ketamine. I don't plan to.
No. I think it's approved for
Therapy. So yeah.
In small doses.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just like in life, I think there's certain things you could use to your advantage for sure. There's things that can be abused, but it depends who you are as a human, how you tolerate it. You know, if you have an addictive personality and you know you're going to go off the walls, like maybe you should be smart enough and not go on that route. If you know things could enhance your life in a good way, cool.
Yeah.
You know, but I definitely think there's some things out there that could definitely help you out.
I think it's obviously depends on the person you are, but I think there's genetic predispositions, and it also has to do with the amount that you're taking as well. I mean, I grew up with a kid that he was my best friend and he was totally normal. He was super smart, like, you know, top of the class, would have probably gone to a school like fucking an Ivy League school. Mm-hmm. And out of nowhere in the middle of high school, he just, you know, fell off the grid, started doing a bunch of psychedelics and literally became Connor Murphy. Like,
That's
like
my biggest
insane.
worry, bro.
Like not even somebody you can have a functioning conversation with.
Great.
But I don't know if that was just, I think that was just doing it too much, doing a lot of it. And then also just, you know, probably having some schizophrenic tendency in his genetic pool.
Yeah. That sounds freaky. I mean, no one in my family is an alcoholic. No one drinks. No one has addiction problems. Me and myself, sure, I'm more experimentative, you know, with PED, psychedelics, whatever. I smoked weed before. I've never done some hard things. Like I've never done cocaine, never done anything else, anything.
It's overrated.
Yeah. So I don't know. And don't really plan to. So yeah, man. I mean, that's Anthony Mantello right now in a nutshell.
Any message for the kids?
My kids or the kids?
The kids.
Yeah. Be smart. Have some respect in life. And start becoming a man as early as possible. Have some fun in the world. But at some point, you're going to be forced to grow up. So start taking initiative now rather than later. I mean, if you're a kid, you're 14, you're coming in your socks, living in your fucking bed for your mom to pick up, like, just fucking be a little bit better, man. Come in the toilet. Fucking don't fucking come in socks. Your mom will clean up after you. That, you know, fucking maybe unload the dishwasher, wash the dishes, because one day when you have a girlfriend, you know, maybe sure she will do that, but still it's good to help out and have some respect. So start having some good tendencies early on. This way, when you have to actually step up to plate, it's a little bit easier for you.
All right, Anthony. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening, guys. And we'll see you on the next episode of